Fitzy and Wippa.
It's great to have him back in the country. It is Curtis Stone.
Hey! What is going on, guys?
It is good to have you here in the studio, live from Piedmont. What's interesting, and Fitz, you mentioned it before, if your whole family is coming out like you mentioned, Curtis, this is a bit of a trial run for your wife, isn't it? Because for a while now you've been saying, hey, what about Australia?
I've promised her the magic. Now I've got to deliver.
Now the magic. Have we got good weather on the way? What's planned?
Well, she gets here in a week, which is, you've got this incredible Vivid Festival on in Sydney right now, so hopefully she catches the last day or two of that. That's what I'm thinking. I'll tell her I'll put on a light show for her. Right. And then, I've told her that the weather's still wonderful back here in the middle of winter, so she doesn't have to worry about it. So we're going to skip the visit to Wood End to visit Dad for a little while.
Right.
Down Victoria,
it's freezing.
It's bloody freezing.
Yep.
So we're going to go up to Queensland. We're going to spend some time here in New South Wales.
Great idea.
Got a house booked in Byron.
Yep.
Good work, mate.
So, yeah. Well,
She'll love it.
I hope so.
Well, she may maybe take her down to Tasmania to the Cadbury factory. You could do that, which is the famous factory. Because
It's amazing, Dad.
Is it in Tassie, is it?
Well, it's down in Tassie. And
God.
apparently you just go down there and they just chip off giant blocks and you just take them home with you.
Anything that's broken, isn't it?
Yeah,
like
anything
if it
that's
didn't
broken.
form at Easter properly or whatever, there's just big vats of things you walk away with bags.
Because, Curtis, we were talking before.
The smell is just intoxicating.
Yeah.
Walking just like, oh my God.
Well, there were two blokes that fell into the chocolate mix we were talking about on air.
At the M&M's factory.
Yeah.
Oh, see, they don't know what they're doing down there.
No, the reason why we're bringing up Cadbury, because we do have a block. Mate, you know when you made it, when you get your own block. So, Curtis, this is a family recipe
It is.
that you got from your grandmother, is that correct?
Well, my mum and I made it the first time, the caramel slice.
Yes.
And, caramel slice is one of those things that, as an Aussie, you probably don't appreciate it because you see them often. But the second you get out of the country, no one else knows what you're talking about.
Yeah, right.
The caramel slice. So it's always been super special to me, one of the first recipes I made, and I just love it. I love all the textures in it. I love the beautiful richness and the flavours. So when Cadbury said it's our 100-year anniversary, we want to celebrate with a special flavour of a block. That was the first thing that popped into my mind.
Great. Top deck was already taken, and you've gone with this. Now, obviously the chewy caramel's in there, but can you tell us what is the other ingredients that are a little bit different?
Just grab yourself a piece.
Let's go and have a look.
Right, so
Easier.
chewy caramel.
Over there.
Oh, mate.
Pieces of the biscuit base that you normally get in a caramel slice, and then, of course, Cadbury dairy milk. So it's like...
Oh, good.
It's not bad, is it?
We've got biscuit pieces in there as well.
Yeah, it was really important to me to get that flowy caramel. A little bit like the caramel you get in a caramel koala, because that's what makes a caramel slice so special. So, it launches today at a limited time, so you better get into Coles and grab one.
I reckon I saw this on TikTok yesterday. People were talking about this.
Right.
Massive. Do you know the thing is, though, just takes me back to Easter. If I can find an Easter egg with caramel in it, I'm in. That's my favourite. Chocolate and caramel, there is simply nothing better.
You're
Just keep
so
talking for a while
What you eat?
It's so nice just watching three people go silent with their mouth just chopping on that caramel, isn't it?
Good
So
for radio to hear us chewing as well.
Right, you're a busy man at the moment. Iron Chef as well, which is probably the most well-renowned cooking show in the world.
You know what? It started in Japan, and it was that competition that sort of started it all in the culinary world. And someone said to me one day, they've turned food into a sport, a competitive sport, and I think it was Iron Chef that sort of started
Haven't
that.
they? Yeah.
So Netflix have bought the world rights to it, and they've made one giant version of it, and I'm lucky enough to call myself an Iron Chef in there. So,
Wow.
yeah, it's a bit of fun.
How many chefs are you competing against?
Well, there's 5 Iron Chefs, and they're sort of from all corners of the globe. But there's someone from Spain, and a Chinese-American guy, someone from Sweden, and then me. So, and one more. And Dominique Crenn, how could I forget her? 3 Michelin star, best female chef in the world.
Smash her.
From France, so smashed her.
Yep.
So can you give us a heads up with Iron Chef? How much time do you get to prepare a meal? And do you have to do it on the spot? What are the challenges?
Well, you don't understand the ingredients till you get there, right? So they tell you that at the start of the battle, and it's 60 minutes to prepare a 5-course menu from that one ingredient.
Wow.
Sure.
This would be right
panic.
up your alley, though, because your restaurant uses,
Exactly.
one set of...
yes.
Yeah, I think that's why they chose me, because I literally had a restaurant that had a menu. But at Maud, I've got 8 people that work for me, or 10 people in the kitchen, and we spend a week doing the development, and we work, most of the dishes we make take 24 hours or more, so when you've got to sort of produce something on your own in this crazy environment, it's kind of fun because there's just stuff flying in all directions.
Curtis, do you see many people getting into the industry now to become at your level with a media presence and brand ambassadorships? Because I think that's kind of the new age thing, isn't it? You have the ability, and in these times, to become bigger than just what you used to do in the kitchen.
Well, everyone with a phone is a creator and an influencer, mate, of some description, and I think that there's a new generation of people that really do chase something different than what people of my vintage probably did in the restaurant business. So, but that said, the restaurant business isn't just the restaurant business anymore. You can work in events and food media, catering, and there's all sorts of different, pieces to our industry these days. So it's good. It's good that you've got people coming into it for different reasons.
Do you want to do this?
No,
I don't know if we want to do this because he's a well-renowned chef.
Yeah, but at the same time, Curtis has gifted us something, and I feel like we need to give something back. Curtis, in a moment's time, we'll take a break, shall we, Tommy?
I'm nervous.
We're just going to prepare a little something outside the studio. It's Big John's tomato space-ghetti, which was
I've heard about this.
Yeah, you would have. They were talking about it in the States.
Yes.
It's an old family recipe. We sent it 25 kilometres high into the air, and it returned to Earth. And your chance now is to taste that spaghetti. So when we come back, a review from Curtis Stone on Big John's tomato space-ghetti.
We've got Curtis Stone live in the studio with us this morning. We've just tried his Cadbury Dairy Milk. He's got a caramel slice that's out now.
Heaven.
Actually, Kelly Clarkson, did you just go on her show recently?
I did. I think it was on air today. So, she's amazing, Kelly.
And you had to cook for her? Was there a challenge involved with that, or did you have to sing, Curtis? What did you have to do?
All 5 Iron Chefs were there, so we all had to do one of her favourite dishes.
Right.
I did a Monte Cristo, which is a sandwich.
What's in that?
It's basically like a ham and cheese sandwich with mustard, and then you dip it in egg, and then you pan fry it. So it's kind of a fried sandwich.
And that's called a Monte Cristo, is it?
Yeah.
What a great name.
Did Clarkson give you the win, or?
Yes, she thought it was
Did
very
she?
good.
Yes.
She would have loved that.
Now,
She said my life would suck without you, Curtis.
well
See you
said,
guys, I'm
mate.
out of here. Where's my bell gone?
Well done. Have you kept in contact with Oprah over the years after you cooked for her here in Australia?
I have, not a lot.
No.
She's a busy lady, as you can imagine. But yeah, we bump into each other once in a while. Yeah.
Any celebs in Maud lately in your restaurant in LA? You got any stories for us? Anyone let their hair down?
You know what? We have a policy that is
you
you're not allowed
don't
to talk about
about
the
it.
guests.
We respected that policy when we were in there, don't worry.
Thank you for...
If I come in on the radio and tell, then my staff will just be like, "You hypocrite." So I've got to shut it down.
We could have really settled into that wine cellar.
Oh, it was awesome.
Like, we could have done hours in there.
No, well,
It's a
we
fun little
did.
spot.
What a spot. Mate, I just love it. Curtis, big moment on the show. We've polished up the silverware. We've gone all out for this. For those that are just tuning in for the first time and don't know the story, it's a family recipe from my grandmother in Switzerland to my father, who's passed it on to me and me to the family here.
To SPC.
And to SPC, and also in association with Coles when we work together, Curtis. We wanted to celebrate this Big John's tomato space-ghetti, and we spoke to Matt Preston at the time, and he tried it and said it's out of this world. And we said, shivers, we better send it into space. 25 kilometres high it went.
How did you get it up there?
With a giant weather balloon. We filmed it with GoPros.
We had uni students help us out. It was a magnificent day. We had to wait for perfect weather, actually.
Yeah, in a no-fly zone, and up went the weather balloon, and you only get your spaghetti back when it pops. So 25 k's high, and then you've got to find it with the GPS tracker.
Well, look, I love what you've done with the label. I mean, you guys in the spacesuits, and then Big John's head just orbiting around Saturn. It's really creative.
He refuses to come on the radio
No,
show,
it's
Big
not
John,
his
but
thing.
he so there it is. There's the silver platter for you.
Reveal the space-ghetti.
Oh, goodness.
Curtis,
This-
I'll remind you before you review
It's,
that thanks to Coles, it's been in store during the week, and
It's got an interesting wobble when you pick up the bowl, and it's got, like, I don't know if you call it a jiggle or a wobble, but
sort of that jelly on a plate for you.
Welcome back to Iron Chef, everybody. And Curtis Stone is now trying the
He's going to need
space
to be...
ghetti.
Tommy, if we heated that up, is that the right temperature?
Okay, hold on, here we go.
Oh.
Oh, God, yeah, he's...
Slurped it.
Oh, it's bloody hot. Oh my goodness!
You didn't overheat it, did you, Tom?
What are you tasting, Curtis?
I can tell why you haven't put it in for any awards because no one else would win one because this is just... It wouldn't be fair. The flavour here is just unbelievable.
What a company,
Leno,
man.
what about a clap, mate? For crying out loud. Thank you. Can you taste what's really unique in the secret, what do you call it? Secret ingredient is the bay leaves.
Oh.
You look like you've burnt your mouth a bit. It either tastes really bad or you've burnt your mouth. I hope you burnt your mouth.
No, it tastes wonderful. I mean, I'm booking my trip to Switzerland because I've got to go and find the source of this incredible Big John.
Go and find Big John.
You know the Royal Easter Show and they do everything on a stick?
Yep.
We did meat and 3 veg on a stick one year. We got someone to come and we got Jamie Oliver in to try it. The thing is, when we handed it to him to try it, it'd been out of the oven or it'd been out
5 hours, yeah.
A little bit.
And it was cold.
It didn't come off the stick.
Well, he ate it, and he was a great sport.
Yeah.
We got a phone call about an hour later saying he was in the car feeling a bit crook.
Should have warned you before you tucked in, shouldn't we?
He had to take the next day off. Anyway, that's why we overheated this, to make sure that you weren't going to get crook.
Oh, mate, I don't think you'd get sick from this.
No.
I think this could be out for a while. It's
good, isn't it?
It'll be all right.
Can you taste? There's also, we upped the butter and we upped the salt. So that those flavours should be fairly strong on your palate there, Curtis.
They sure are. Yeah, I mean, it's indescribable what I'm tasting here. It's absolutely delicious.
Absolutely. Tommy, we can't do this now. Are you serious?
Yeah.
God, we're going mad on this show. 13 24 10 if you want to win a can of your own space-ghetti this morning. Like Curtis on Oprah.
Guys.
You get a can. You get a can. You get a can.
Do you know what? I've got some blocks of Curtis's caramel slices.
way.
Oh, I'll throw in one of those.
You get a block.
Yep.
You get a block. You get a block.
Mate, it's out today at Coles. It's so good to see you. It's great to have you back in the country. Please impress your wife to stay here
And give her that spaghetti.
And move back here, big fella.
I'll make a spaghetti and eggs for breakfast.
Well done.
Big
There it
John's.
is, mate.
Thanks for
Thanks
coming.
so much, guys.
Thanks, buddy.
Fitzy and Wippa.